here there are more words. You same, the slide continues what you had in the slide number 8. You have words in slide number 9. The same way, on the right hand side of the slide you have verbs, and on the left hand side of the slide you have nouns, like knife to knife, knife to knife, like please give me a knife. You're using it as a noun. Okay. Oh, that's a Rampuri knife, or that's a very big knife, that's an antique knife. So here you're using it as a noun. And I want to knife the cake or knife something, so you're using it here as a verb. Pocket, I do not have very big pockets, or he has very big pockets, right? So here you're using it as a noun. And to pocket is just pocket your money. Pocket your money means you're using it here as a verb. So you can use it. You've seen the examples, you've seen, because if I like making sentences for each and every example, every word I mean, then that's going to be a very, very long video, very big video. Now you understood the process. I'm just giving you examples. I'm just giving you the words which are commonly used as nouns and as verbs. So knife to knife, pocket to pocket, salt to salt. Like oh, this is the best salt that is available in the market. Best salt means you're using it as a noun, and you don't need to salt. There's enough salt in the vegetable, or there's enough salt in something that you're eating, say, and so you don't need to add extra salt. You don't need to salt it. There's already salt in it, right? Ship to ship, spare to spare, torch to torch, closet to closet, face to face, chair to chair. The chair is a very common usage. That's a very nice chair, very big chair. Okay, there are 4 chairs in that room, or there are 20 chairs in that room. So here you're using it as a noun, which you very often use. But you can also use it as a verb, to chair. Who's chairing the session? Okay, that means who is presiding the session. Okay, is it fine? Okay, Mr. Philip chaired the session this morning. So this is how you can use it. Let's see, do we have the same words, noun and verbs, or we have something different in the next slide? Shall we move? Okay. No, now here you have something different. Okay, see, I've written a note. Now let us see how adjectives are converted into nouns. Up till now, you had examples of nouns converted into verbs, or verbs converted into nouns, right? You had nouns converted into verbs, or verbs converted into nouns. But here we are going to see how adjectives are converted into nouns. Okay. Now let us discuss here the most common instances of conversion. Most common in the sense that they're usually asked in the exam, or they are usually used in everyday conversation, like poor as a noun, and the poor. No, the building material is of poor quality. Now when we say of poor quality, you're using it as an adjective, because quality is noun and poor is adjective. Good quality, bad quality, poor quality. The building material is of poor quality. So poor is here adjective, and we ought to help the poor. We ought to help the poor. The rich ought to help the poor. The rich ought to help the, this is how we say the poor. The poor means poor people. We don't say the poor people. We say poor people or the poor. We do not say rich people, the rich people. We say rich people or the rich. We ought to help the poor. So you can use it as a noun also, although it is commonly used as an adjective. Now let us see the next word, weak. He's very weak at English. He's very weak at English. Now you're using it as an adjective, the word weak. He is weak. That means he is not good at English. He is weak at English. And mark the preposition also. I've seen students using in, is weak in English and poor in English, or good in English. No, you don't. You always use it. Is good at English. Is not good at English. Okay, he's bad at it. So he is very weak at English. This is adjective. Noun. Do you have any sympathy for the weak? Do you have any sympathy for the weak? Now this is interrogative. There should have been an interrogative mark after the sentence, but there isn't. There should have been. Okay. Do you have any sympathy for the weak? So the weak means weak people. So here the word weak is used as noun. Good. She's keeping good health now. Adjective, good health. Health is noun and good is adjective. Bad health. Bad is adjective and health is noun. She's keeping good health now. Mr. Brown is a good friend of mine. Again, this is an adjective. Mr. Brown is a good friend of mine. A close friend of mine. A friend whom I rely on. A trust. Mr. Brown is a good friend of mine. So you're using the word as an adjective, and this is a common usage, but you can use it in a different way also. You should work hard for your own good. Good here means benefit. Okay, for your own good. You should work hard for your own good. What's the good of worrying? What's the point of worrying? Means you cannot change the situation. Since you cannot change the situation, so what do we say? What's the good of worrying? What's the point of worrying? There's no good of worrying. Please don't worry. Please don't bother. What's the good of worrying? So you can use the word good as a noun also. This is different. So these are the common words: poor, the poor, weak, and the good. Fine. Yes. Let us see what do you have in the next slide. Yeah. Here you have two more words: antique and meek. Antique and antique, I hope you know. Okay, something which is not new, which is not modern, which is classic. She has given her house an antique look. Means a Greek look, okay, or a Roman look, or classic look. She has given her house an antique look. So antique is used here as an adjective. Now this is a common usage. This is how you use the word antique. She looked weird in that antique attire. Okay, antique means like, somebody is wearing, say, those Victorian gowns which were worn in Queen Victoria's time. Somebody is wearing them, so that would look weird. She looked weird in that antique attire. Okay, because they are out of fashion, that's why. Antique attire, adjective. So you are using the word antique as adjective. You can also use it as a noun. I visited a shop of antiques yesterday. I visited a shop of antiques yesterday. Antiques yesterday, that means what shop are you talking about? You're talking about the shop where antique goods are sold. Sometimes like they are antique. The shops which sell antiques, which deal in antiques. Means you visit them. You have, say, 300 or 400 or 500 old things there. Means which you often see there in museum. Or sometimes like they have given that polish that they have an antique look. So I visited a shop of antiques yesterday. Yeah, the corner shop at the end of the road sells antiques. So there is another sentence here. The corner shop at the end of the road sells antiques. That means deals in antiques. Right? So you can use the word antique both as an adjective and also as a noun. Next is, it appears that the wall clock is a valuable antique. Yeah, now see again, this is a noun. Here it appears that the wall clock is a valuable antique. Valuable is adjective, you know, and antique is noun here. Here, you know, s was added, but here you have the word as it is, antique. It appears that the wall clock is a valuable antique. So this is used here as a noun. Now meek. She looked meek, but had the heart of a lion. She looked meek. She looked very submissive, very docile, kind of very, you know, gentle or very calm, cool kind of person. She looked meek, but had the heart of a lion. But was very, heart of lion is very bold, very brave kind of lady. So sometimes appearances are deceptive. You know, you cannot make out a book by its cover kind of thing. She looked meek but had the heart of a lion. This is adjective. A domineering woman like her means like any woman, can get along only with a meek husband. She's a domineering woman, okay, so she can, a woman like her can get along only with a meek husband. Meek husband who is very meek, silent kind, okay, not fussy or not a very, say, a person of angry temperament, hot-tempered. So a dominating woman like her can get along only with a meek husband. This is the adjective. A good sentence. This is an interesting a trait of a woman. He retorted sarcastically, the weak and the meek stay away from the brave. The weak and the meek. So the weak and the meek are used as a noun. Stay away from the brave. When you have the added, that means they are used as a noun. Okay. The poor, the rich, the weak, the meek, the brave. When you have this article, definite article added before these words, then they are converted into nouns. Is that fine? You understood? Interesting examples, isn't it? I hope you would be using them in your everyday conversation. Okay, write them down.